and today I will be speaking to how we can move through hardships or challenges in the most uplifting way to our human being, and to really move through and see the higher perspectives in them. Hello dear soul, goddess, God, welcome to this video. It's the weekly wisdom transmission, and today I will be speaking to how we can move through hardships or challenges in the most uplifting way to our human being, and to really move through and see the higher perspectives in those experiences. So if you're new to me, I'm Matilda Lerche. I'm a spiritual guide and I'm a healer, and I create these weekly videos, these wisdom transmissions. Sometimes I channel the goddesses on these weekly wisdom transmissions. But today I will talk a bit about my own experience moving through challenging times or experiences that I have shifted into a higher perspective and received clarity and ease when moving through this experience, instead of moving through them with resistance, and which means going slower through them. And then I would like to share that with you, and also about some of the messages and inspirations that had come through over the past weeks, months, and years from the goddesses about when we move through these type of experiences. And the reason why we will be talking about this theme right now is that I see many who are going through either in their own lives what we could call hardships, or looking at a global scale and feel stressed out about that. So over these past few weeks, I've heard myself saying at several calls that if it hadn't been for the challenges I've experienced in my own life, I would not have cultivated this sense of compassion that I have. This ability to really hold space for others and see them in their highest light. If I had not been able to really practice this with myself, I would not have been able to do it for others. So I see that is a very clear reason why many of us choose to go through this. Besides allowing the soul to expand, it really cultivates this compassion. And I want to make a distinction between being in the suffering when we are looking at others and judging their situation, and really feeling, and instead really feeling, or in contrast to really feeling the sense of compassion, which is a love for them, which is an understanding of why they're experiencing what they're experiencing, and seeing the mastery in them in that experience, but feeling the love for them and understanding how this illusion at the earth plane really can trick your mind and your ability to feel and use your power. So going a bit deeper into that, when I've been going through times in my life where things has been challenging, I remember in the past, because this was really a strong part of my education, you can say, as a soul at this time of the earth, was really to keep holding the light and the love for myself in those experiences. And I became better and better at it. I became better and better at, when I was judging myself, releasing that judgment, keep holding the love, not judging anyone else either, but really holding that light for myself, and not having to separate myself from others. Like, then they were the bad guys and me, I'm the good guy, or the other way, I'm the bad guy and they're the good guys. But really feeling that this love is unconditional. There is not anything you can do that can make you not loved or less loved. You are always an expression of love, but you can forget. And when we are moving through these experiences and keep remembering that we are loved, then we allow others to use that same potential. And the thing is, when we can maintain the connection with our self-love, we won't hurt others in the same way. We won't act in the same way as if we're separate from God. We will know that we're God. We will know that we are love, and then we can really emanate that to others. So that was what I shared about holding space. If you haven't gone through a situation, you might not understand the power of the entanglement. You can say you might look at them and say, why aren't they doing something different? They could just be doing something different. I don't understand. Why are they doing that? Let me just judge them real bad here. But if you've been, that's a bit of a joke, right? It's funny, but I meant that. So, but if we have been in a similar situation, we will look at them and say, oh, wow, I remember that. That was my mind was really playing tricks on me back then. I remember how I believed I was powerless and how I could shift into an empowered perspective and then shift the situation. And I see many of us come here not to live these lives where we are not experiencing any challenges, or there's like an extra dimension to that, which I will go into in a moment. Many of us came here to create new potential. So we wanted to pave the way. We wanted to create the potential of moving from one situation to another. And in order to do that, to lift these potential up into a new experience, a higher dimension, we had to experience them ourselves. And how can that look? It could be like not living up to our parents' expectations about who and what we should be. Not being able to finish maybe an education. We started a career path and we were judging ourselves really bad for that. We might have hurt an ex-partner. We might have hurt a partner. We might have hurt our child. We have all these things where we might see that, oh, I did something that was really did not feel good, and I can see how I'm now shifting that perspective because I thought I could not do anything else or be anything else in that situation, and now I see I can really lift that into a new dimension and feel myself empowered here and shift the whole energy in this situation. So first I want to go into what I just shared about the distinguish between having compassion, because when you then move through those experiences, you really cultivate the sense of compassion, as I just shared. You understand what the other one is going through. Well, what is the difference between that and then feeling really sad and sorry for someone and really being in the suffering yourself, feeling what this person is going through from a disempowered state where it makes yourself lower your vibration? So that is already like distinguishing these two. One of them is that you feel the compassion is you see them and you stay in your power, and you know that what you created within you, they can create for themselves too, but more easily if you hold that perspective up for them. They can more easily create it if you hold that energy of, I moved through it, look at this, look at my energy, look at the keys to this higher experience. You can follow that, you can use that as a template for yourself to move through those experiences. And I acknowledge that it might seem really hard and difficult right now to see yourself somewhere else, but I will maintain that vision for you. I want to hold that higher vision for you, not separate from you, but seeing you in that higher light in that experience. That is the compassion. And then there's the feeling sorry and suffer, which is, I see you going through something really awful right now, and I'm feeling awful myself that I can't change it for you. I see you as powerless, not able to shift this within yourself, and I'm feeling powerless myself also now and really sad and sorry. And there's no judgment. There's really no judgment if it's difficult to get from that into the compassion, the true compassion. There's no judgment, but just feeling and acknowledging that you're not helping from that place. You're not really making a long-term impact on them because you continue to see them as powerless. So you cannot hold a perspective that's higher for them. You can only hold the perspective that they need help. And also by aligning with that vibration yourself, you also create that feeling within yourself. I need help too, because now I'm powerless too. So that being said, I see that is the reason why some of us come here, choose to go through challenges and really master this feeling of compassion, holding the higher perspective, seeing the higher light within ourselves, seeing the power within ourselves, being able of like disentangle from what we have entangled ourselves in, and really move forward with ease and grace, and just knowing that if I'm not in resistance to what is happening, then that's much easier. And that is the last final key point I want to bring in. That was about lifting it into a different dimension. So we have so far talked about it as challenges or hardships. And when we lift it into a new dimension, a higher dimension, it becomes a neutral experience. And for many, including the New Earth children that I know many of you are adult New Earth children, it is really the key to shifting this experience and moving into a new potential is to open it within you, allow yourself to feel completely neutral about whatever challenge that is occurring in your life on a global scale. Allow it to come in and be felt, this neutrality within your body, because it's the embodiment of bringing that vibration to earth. Of we will find a small piece of ourselves, if not a great piece of ourselves, in resistance to what is happening, in resistance to taking that vibration in and feel it. But if we can, we are really becoming like a part of the greater team, transmuting these frequencies, allowing these frequencies to transcend and transform into something new, transform into peace, because the resistance is what holding it stuck in this reality, or holding us stuck, or whatever experience it is. So allowing ourselves to dare feeling completely neutral about whatever is happening in our lives. And we will often go through a phase, if not a long phase, really allowing this shift into neutrality. We don't have to tell ourselves that it's a great experience. We don't have to tell ourselves it's a bad experience. But we can see it's just as experience. There are many things in our life we feel neutral about. We don't sit there and say every day, oh, this table, am I feeling good or bad about it? It's just like completely neutral, unless I'm like wanting myself to see if I like it or not. But like having all those experience going to the grocery store, completely neutral about that. And allowing that to be also about other experiences. Know that when we come in at this earth plane, nothing has a predefined value. It's not right or wrong. It is what we define it as right and wrong. And if you've been traveling a lot, you know that some things that are right in one part of the world can be wrong in a different part of the world. And the same within families and the same within individuals. So really seeing that you are creating that. And it will help you to step into a neutral space within you and really bring this in, which is also something I'm going to write in my coming book about the divine child. That this is really something where we are meant to bring in really strongly now, that we can be neutral and that can help our experience, because then we can allow these old lingering beliefs to move through, those stagnant emotions or energies. They can be more swiftly be moved through in that neutral space. And still, we are definitely having preferences. So even though it's neutral, we can also see, but I rather want this experience that feels more aligned to my energy. That's a better representation of mirror reflection or representation of my own energy. Feel better in this space. So that is really something I wanted to share today. And I also want to share one final key point that the goddesses brought to my attention. Maybe there will be more things coming when I start sharing that. They said, sometimes when you're in those experiences, or very often, it's like when the seedling is peeking through the soil, they're penetrating the crust of the soil. They're coming from the darkness into the light. And that phase of moving from dark into the light really cultivates the passion for the light, or the desire for the light, the feeling, what is it actually I want to create? What is it actually that I just want to express when we are in this moment where we feel it's not quite me, this darkness, this reflection, it's not completely aligned, or it doesn't feel very uplifting. Then those are the moments that you are clarifying, what is it then that you want? What is it then that you want to express and move into? So really appreciating those phases. And also we might hold, okay, I want to save this for next time. I can see we're approaching the time limit for these videos. So let me talk about that next time. The thing about when we're seeing a potential and we don't know how to get there, we can't see how we get there, and we might kill the idea with our thoughts. So let's do that for our next weekly wisdom transmission. It won't be next Wednesday because I will be off on vacation, but the week after that I will strongly return. And yeah, stay tuned if you want to know about that. So much love to you all. Wishing you a beautiful day. Bye for now.